Good morning. The Barbershop is open and we're in session with your host, Trevea.
Sid.
Tati.
And AJ.
And we're going to talk about loads of new topics. Today we're going to talk about the latest in music with Bruno Mars making headlines and Alex Warner's new song Fever Dream, which released last month. We're also going to discuss color theory and how that has a role in both fashion and in costumes. Then we're going to go over and pass it and go to the WBC and what's going on over there. And then we're going to top it all off with talking about the recent Paramount Plus merging with Warner Brothers. Now, it's a lot of topic all wrapped in one, but we're gonna have a good show for y'all today. But I know that was a lot of topics, so we're gonna let that marinate for y'all, and we'll be right back after this break. And we are back. I hope you had a nice little break. Now we're going to kick it off with our little music and what's going on with music here lately. Now, I've heard, I didn't know until just yesterday that supposedly Harry Styles was coming back with a comeback.
That's right.
What's that all about?
That's right, y'all. So I'm Sid, covering the music session. So first of all, Harry Styles, you guys know him as the artist that sang many wondrous hits like Watermelon Sugar, As It Was, and many more wonderful hits. So we know that he has done many albums, and we have his newest album that's coming out. It's called Kiss All the Time, It has already come out. This is his fourth studio
Ooh, okay.
album that is come out, and in the UK, it's literally already sold 150 million copies.
Okay, so
Dang.
wait, so when you mean the copy, do you mean like the pre-release copies or like the song already came out and
The album came out
Like,
The album
2
came
days
out.
ago or something.
Oh, okay. So is it like digital copies or is it like? Cause I know, I do know that Harry Styles has like a bunch of vinyls to go with some of his albums. So is it like digital or is it just like actual physical copies that sold out?
I'm sure it's everything.
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because they usually account for everything: physical media sold, digital media streamed, all that.
merchandise.
Yeah, so when they talk about sales, they encompass everything. So iTunes sales, physical copies, so CDs, vinyls, and then digital streaming too, because you got to account for all the streaming nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And
'Cause-
so to add on to that, like you said, iTunes, all that, Spotify. So we mentioned that how it has a little bit of everything. So on digital streaming wise, Spotify wise, he has 63 million streams in one day, according to Spotify.
Wow.
So that's kind of insane for a quick release that has already made 150 million copies in the U.S.
It's been a while since he released his last album, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Right.
5 years.
5 years. That's crazy.
I kind of like this new album. I've never been a big fan of his music, but I liked it. I saw like the TikTok trends, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
wait, this is kind of.
I started listening to him in like 2023. Like I didn't know who he was, and then I was like, oh, he made a bunch of tours and all that. So I would like listen to his music, and I'm like, it's actually not bad.
I only knew him as the guy from One Direction.
Saying I'm gonna be so honest. I really have not listened. I have not sit down and listened to a Harry Styles song since the One Direction era.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I've heard about him. I've seen all the tours.
Mhm.
I've seen him in the nudes, but have I actually sat down and listened to the song? No. The only song I have heard and actually listened to, well, by force, was Watermelon Sugar when that blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't really hear much from Harry Styles.
Okay.
So because of all this that's happening, Harry Styles says that he is going to plan a major tour. So likely because of the major success of his album. And so he also says there's going to be some special performances, like he may have some TV performances or television show appearances, which I think as far as artists, like we have a very like big history of artists that have like gone either from television to now singing, or they gone from like singing to like making small
Yeah.
television appearances.
Oh yeah, you definitely get a lot of that. But I think that's always been part of the industry where you go from either acting to singing or singing to dabbling in acting. You saw it with DMX, you saw it with Tupac. You saw it with a lot of those younger or earlier artists who transitioned to acting after they want not give up music, but wanted to do something else or try something different.
Yeah, kind of like more like branching out, like, and it kind of goes back to not wanting to be known just for one thing
Yeah.
and kind
Yeah,
of
that's
broaden
nice.
and just trying to really get your name out there. Like another person who came to mind is Childish Gambino and
Yeah.
and a Kid Cudi. Both
Yeah.
of those, they both make great, amazing music and also been in a lot of films and movies. Childish Gambino more so because he did the remake of the Mr. and Mrs. on Prime.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
They
Mr.
did
and
that
Mrs.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kid Cudi. I feel like Kid Cudi is kind of one of those artists who you don't realize who be in movies because the roles be so small. But then when
Yeah.
you see him, you be like, yeah, he's definitely
yeah.
he's
You
definitely an
recognize
actor.
them.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to talk about next. We also got Rihanna. So as
I'm
you
my
guys,
girl.
Showing
Yes.
back.
yes. So there's been lots of stuff. You know, it's been a while since she's dropped an album. It's been a while since she's even made music. I think the last time was like 2015 or 16.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's been like 10
Actually,
years.
she did ended up having a song
Oh,
for
yeah.
the Smurfs movie. The new
What Smurfs
Right.
movie?
There's a new one that came out for
Was
kids.
it the one in 2020?
Lord.
Because they made a bunch of Smurfs movies.
No,
Yeah.
it came out like last year, I think.
Okay,
Oh.
so it was one of the.
And she
most
voiced
recent.
Smurfette.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah. That was
she
weird because I remember like Katy Perry voiced one of the Smurfs in like the early movies.
That was the peak of her career. Was
Yeah.
voicing Smurfette.
But going back to Rihanna, we have who you guys know, she has a bunch of songs: Diamonds, Umbrella, This Is What You Came For. That's one of my favorite songs. She took to social media, specifically Instagram, saying, "I thank you, my fans, for all your support of my success over the past years." And she's just really saying a bunch of stuff because she hasn't made a lot. So she's kind of giving them an update on where she is right now.
She hinting something?
Yes, she could be. As she hinted in her Instagram post, she is making something special for the future. So
Oh.
Whole
could be
time,
sparking-
watch it. She just dropped a new like, oh,
Another
I'm
makeup line?
Yeah, another makeup line, or like, oh look, I'm dropping a new line. I'm dropping a new line for Fenty. Like here, I'm giving y'all a whole bunch of like custom hoodies and hats.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a clothing line, and I'm like, Rihanna, you know what we want.
Oh my
like-
gosh, that's crazy. But yeah, she didn't say what it is, probably for a good thing, but a lot of people are sparking speculation what it could be. Could it be the next tour? Maybe a new single that she hasn't released? Maybe a collab with someone that she likes to do, because she has a good history of doing collabs with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think necessarily you should have a tour. I only say that because her kids are still relatively young.
Yeah.
And they're like in like that toddler type stage where like if you ever been around toddlers, then you know like toddlers are very, very busy, so they require some
As if
attention.
babies weren't enough. Like, the
Yeah.
toddlers are like, you're still at the beginning.
And she got 3 sets, and her newest, she finally got her baby girl.
Oh,
See, that's
yay.
that's what she wanted. I was excited when I saw that post. I'm like, yes, she got her girl.
Yeah.
So I don't think she'll do a tour just yet, but I can definitely see maybe she releasing like a little mini album.
EP maybe.
Yeah, I can't really. I mean, I can see her releasing a full album, but not really because she is just getting back. So maybe I can see like a song or maybe like a 5-track mini
she
album.
She might probably do a mini album because I don't see her in the studio, especially with 3 or 4 young kids now.
Right.
I don't see her in the studio 24/7 banging out song after song, unless she has a studio in her house, which she very
probably
very
does.
well might, because she is very big, and who knows what she has in her house.
You know, man.
Who
Facts.
knows?
But so
Well, folks, that was a lot happening in music today, and we know it was a lot going on. We kind of bounced around from artist to artist, so we're gonna let that marinate in your spirit, and we'll be back right after this break. right, folks, we are back. I hope that was a nice little break for y'all. I enjoyed myself. Did y'all enjoy yourself?
Yeah,
Yes,
not
that
too
was
bad,
good.
Not too bad.
Well, now we're going to get more into color theory.
Ooh,
Yay!
color.
It's gonna be very descriptive today. So it's gonna be a little crash course on color theory and costume design because it's very important. Now, color theory, as Medium.com says, the science and psychology of how colors work together and how they make us feel. So, in the world of movies and costume design, color plays a very important role, and not just in costumes, but also set design, the lighting, cinematography, and colors often like describe the mood. And I think people like overlook often how like color plays a really big role in costumes because it really tells like what a character is. Like, have you noticed like for example, like most villains, like they're always in like dark like colors and stuff, but
Mhm.
and then sometimes like you don't even know they're a villain, but it's like you kind of know because it's like, oh, like that color, like it's just giving off this mood that they're gonna be like evil.
Like
Right.
when you said that, the first thing that came to mind was like Disney villains, like how all Disney
Oh
villains
my
were like
gosh.
dressed in purple, or like
Yeah.
they had green, or
Like
like
Ursula, Maleficent, like they're all like very like
Yeah.
dark.
I don't know why I
like,
thought of Cruella de Vil.
Another
Maybe it's 'cause
No,
of
those are
the-
like dark colors.
Another good
too,
example
yeah.
is Anakin, because if you saw from episode 1, he was wearing light colors from when he was on Tatooine as a kid, but then as he
Yeah.
matured, his clothing
got-
got darker, especially in the
Mhm.
third one where he was legit just all black.
And it was
Yeah.
like symbolizing
And he was
like
contrasting
him going
with
through
the
that
other-
transition.
yeah, with
from
the other
good to
Jedis
bad.
We
were
won't
wearing.
spoil that movie for those that haven't.
I'll spoil it all day.
What? That movie's been out for like ages. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it, you're missing out.
Yeah.
like, and they already came back with the anniversary for Return of the Jedi, Force
yeah.
Awaken. Like it's
Yeah.
already known. Like I don't think you really can spoil Star Wars because it's already so much out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been around for too long. But I'm trying to think of like examples. Ooh, you guys know The Handmaid's Tale?
I've heard
No.
of that.
Yes.
Wait, is that the one with what's her name from Euphoria? Sydney Sweeney. Is that one or no?
Oh,
Mm-mm.
they're thinking of that new maid movie that she's
Oh.
in.
Okay, that just tells you there's too
Yeah.
many maid movies.
This is true. You know, Handmaid's Tale, short summary, basically just about like all these women being oppressed and stuff, but all these women are like wearing like red robes throughout the show. And it's funny because like colors, like they can represent like so many different things, but it just depends how you interpret it in each like film and show you watch. But in that show, like they were red, but red is represented as like them being like oppressed, them being like scared and sad.
Mhm.
But you can think of red and like who, like you guys in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like
that's
you
a
know
classic.
Jessica Rabbit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like her wearing red is like her being like a baddie.
Yeah.
Like being a diva. But like it's so interesting how like both those colors represent different things. Or you have green, like green can represent like envy. Like in La La Land, I forgot the main girl's name, Emma Stone's character.
Oh, it's I forget, but I know that
yeah, she wears like green at some point in the movie,
Mhm.
or there's
She
like a
wears
scene where
that,
there's like green lighting. It like shows like her being like envious or like
because she
jealous.
was
Yeah.
she was like a movie actor inside of a movie.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but she was having some like envy thing happening with Sebastian, the boyfriend in the movie.
Right.
Or you can think of green as disgust, like that character from
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yeah, where she's all like disgusted about
Yeah.
Barbie. It's green.
Or greed.
Yeah, green is
Greed too.
powerful
Greed.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as I was doing my research, like I guess with costume design and fashion, like colors, like they kind of play a different distinct role, because in the fashion world, it's more about how color contrasts with like the skin, like with your skin color, with the lighting, whatever set you're on, in comparison to movies where it's more about the mood and story you're telling. But in the world of fashion, it's more of like, oh, do your green eyes look good with this like brown or purple, or does the runway color match your clothes, or is the lighting like giving off a good reflection of like the colors on your clothes and stuff? Like that plays a very important role in the fashion world. And yeah, I think it's so interesting.
I definitely agree, because especially in fashion, like fashion is, you're speaking a whole bunch of words just through fabrics and gems alone. So if you can select colors that makes people feel a certain way, or colors that relate back to a certain topic, I forgot where I read it from, but it was from it was from a medical what is
Medical show?
no
Medical journal.
yes, a medical journal that was released by, I think, if I remember correctly, Cleveland Clinic. It was the psychology on colors and how certain colors hit differently in our brains, like nerve receptors. Like when people see red, they think of oppress, or they think of blood, they think of war.
Like we all think of something different sometimes.
Yeah. And that's basically like one of the key rules in fashion. Like if you can convey what you want to say through colors, then you have successfully captivated your audience. Not only your selective audience, but also the broader audience. And that's kind of like what art is taking colors and then converting that into words.
Yeah, and isn't it like so interesting how sometimes like with how our brains work that like we, not like the mood wise, but like sometimes we see color differently. Like there's this one picture I saw, I think it was like of a dress or something, but it was like I can't remember the colors I saw, but I just know like other people saw the colors differently.
Is it white or yellow?
Yeah, something like that. And then people were like, oh no, I saw like pink and blue or something.
Yeah.
The infamous Vine dress with the, is this dress white or gold, or is it blue and black?
Yeah.
That was a time that was like, thinking back on it, I think that was most people's Iron Man versus Superman moment right there. Like,
really?
Cause like if you think about it in a way, people were battling out like, no, they're like, no, the picture is white and gold. Like, no, the picture is blue and black. And then of course, like when it came to Captain America: A Civil War, people was choosing sides between Iron Man and
Captain America,
and like they were duking it out. Like,
oh, what a good movie.
Well, I think that picture had more to do with lighting than it did with anything.
But also like how our brains were seeing it with the lighting.
Oh yeah, because working in retail at Travis Matthew, because the lighting, a lot of people see a blue shirt to go, is that black? And sometimes I even get tricked by it. I have to pick the shirt up and be like, yo, because they'd be messing with my eyes too. It's the same thing.
Is this navy or black?
Yeah. So it's the same thing. I think it has a lot to do with lighting, hitting the shirt, from what angle it's hitting it, and then just how your eyes are perceiving that color at that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Have you guys taken a colorblind test?
Yes. The military makes you take it.
Really?
While you're going to MEPS, you have to take a colorblind test.
You have to know the colors?
You don't necessarily have to know the colors, but they make sure you're not colorblind. So
I see.
Because if you're messing around with wires, you clip the wrong wire, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah.
Blue or red. The world's going to explode.
Yeah, so...
Actually, that's probably in poor taste.
No.
But I personally haven't per se took a colorblind test, but I have took one of those like how they have it online with like it'd be a different color, then you see the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I've done that, and sad to say I might have failed a couple.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I failed a couple too, and I was like, oh no, am I blind? Am I colorblind?
Gosh.
All right.
I know I'm blind in both eyes, but dang. Now that was a lot of good topics. We talked about a lot now, but we're gonna let y'all go on a little bit break here, and we'll be back right after this. We are back, and if you're just tuning in, we are the Barbershop on Hawk Radio on Live 365.
Yes, sir.
Yay.
Now we're gonna pass over the ball. Now, what about this? I know I said the name wrong.
So it's the World Baseball Classic, WBC for short. This past weekend, this past weekend was the first, I guess you could say,
Opening weekend.
not even opening weekend. The best word I can use to describe it is the first round of the World
That's
Baseball
better.
Classic. It's currently we're in the pool play, and for those of you who don't know what pool play is, best way I can describe it is if you look at March Madness, you know how they have the different divisions, right?
Bracket.
Mm-hmm.
The bracket. You have 4 different divisions, and they all coincide to get to the finals, get to the final 2.
Right.
It's kind of like that. So you have 4 different pools: Pool A, B, C, and D, and they each play at a different stadium, right?
Yes.
And this is all provided by MLB.com. They have a section on the World Baseball Classic that gives you this information. And so, yeah, they have 4 different pools. They each play at a different stadium. You have one in Houston, one at the Tokyo Dome, one in Miami, one in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Puerto Rico making money this year.
Oh,
They got
yeah.
a good stadium. I
Yay.
like it at night, especially.
Yeah. So this past weekend, you had a lot of great games. Some of your notable games this past weekend were Japan versus Korea, where Korea lost to Japan 8-6. You had USA versus Great Britain, where USA beat Great Britain 9-1. I think the very next day, Great Britain got eliminated. But USA's been blowing out almost every team they faced. They're leading
my.
their division in Pool B, 3-0 right now is their record. So you're starting to see a lot of the pools starting to shape up to see who's going to the qualifiers. Your top 2 teams from each pool are going to go on to the qualifying round, which your pool ends March 11th. So your qualifying round should be this weekend. Right now, you're starting to see what teams are going to go. Right now, you know Japan and Korea from Pool C are going to go because they were your top 2 teams. Japan finished the pool round with an undefeated record of 4-0. Korea finished 2-2. Depending on how things go, USA can finish 4-0. I believe their last game is tonight or it's tomorrow, early tomorrow
I think they
morning.
play Italy at some point.
Yeah.
The last game?
Yeah, because they still have to play Italy. And Italy right now is 2-0. I think they play again today, and then they play again tomorrow. So you're starting to see how things are starting to shake up. So if everything stays the same, it should be Puerto Rico and Cuba for Pool A, USA, Italy for Pool B. You already know Japan and Korea for Pool C. Pool D is going to be Venezuela and Dominican Republic.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
I like
Yeah.
that.
And so your qualifying round is going to be Pool C versus Pool D. So it's going to be DR, Venezuela versus the winners of Pool C, Japan and Korea. And then Pool B is the same thing. Your winners of Pool B will go on to face the winners of Pool A. Now you're starting to see what teams are shaping up to be your better teams. Your top 3 teams going into this were USA, Japan, and the Dominican Republic. And you're already starting to see what everyone thinks shaping out. I mean, they've all finished undefeated, or they are currently undefeated, right? Because the pool is not over yet. So you're starting to see the shape of it. So you've had some good stories. USA's finally beaten Mexico, which they haven't ever done in the WBC.
Like ever?
Ever. They've never beaten Mexico in the World
Since
Baseball
it was-
Classic.
Wow.
Since it was
Debut.
instituted in 2006.
Wow.
Ooh.
They've never beaten Mexico.
Oh yeah, that was a feat for them.
Props to
Yeah.
them.
And then you see Korea finally made it back to the qualifying round in 17 years. The last time they made it past the qualifier, I want to say 2008. Coming off their Olympic win in 2008, they went to the WBC following, and they didn't win. They lost to Japan, I believe, in the finals or the qualifying round. But so there's some good stories. You see Dominican Republic's they're raking. I don't know if you saw the game. They mercy ruled the Netherlands this
Dude.
weekend.
That was a bar.
15. It was like they beat them 15-1.
Ooh.
And so they have like these mercy rules in the World Baseball Classic where if you go into the 7th inning, you're leading by 15, they call the game. If you're leading by 10 going into the 9th inning, then they call the game there. They beat them 15-1.
They were taking
Wow.
advantage
That
of
was
that
a
rule.
beating.
It kind of like I'm going to talk a little trash here, but like, were they even trying? Like,
No, but I mean, you
Right.
have to look on who's on the Dominican Republic's team. Half of that team is MLB players. You have Juan Soto,
Oh.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You have Luis Arias, if I'm not mistaken. You just have
All those
you have
players have been
Tatis Jr. I
They've
mean,
been at least an all-star or MVP or something.
yeah. And you're already starting to see who your best players are, too. Shohei Ohtani has played in 3 games so far as of last night. He's played in 3 games. He's had like 9 at-bats, 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 4 walks. And he's batting a .556 average. In his first game against Taipei, dude hit a grand slam on his second at-bat. Dude, like, dude's going to probably set up to win his second MVP for the WBC if Japan can go and repeat, which is
And
insane.
I think I looked up and there's never been a back-to-back MVP before.
No, not even
So-
when Japan won it back to back in 6 and 7,
Right.
or not
But-
6 and 7, but 6 following whatever many years after that was.
Right.
But hasn't
if
the
she'll-
U.S. held like hasn't the U.S. in this tournament hasn't the U.S. held like 5 titles?
No, so the U.S. has only won one WBC, which was
Oh.
2017.
Mhm.
So if you go back to when it was instituted
10
in
years ago.
2006, it was instituted in 2006 because in 2005 they voted to eliminate baseball from the Olympics. So the
Mhm.
WBC was created to supplement that.
Okay.
So WBC is kind of like the World Cup for baseball, if that's a better analogy for you. So 2006,
Oh.
it was Japan won the very first one. They won the second one. Then it was Dominican Republic won the third one. And then the U.S. won in 2017. And then Japan won it again in 2023. So right now, Japan has the most WBC titles out of any country that
Mm.
competes in the current WBC.
And isn't like I know I was reading on the like their on the official WBC website. Isn't it like over like 32 countries
Yeah,
in
so
total?
yeah, so obviously not all 32 countries are going to compete. You do have to go through a qualifying round like you do for the World Cup, and
Mhm.
only certain countries make it. So Australia qualified this year, Cuba, the Netherlands, Czechoslovakia.
Chinese
Czechoslovakia
Japan.
is always an interesting team because they're always underdogs. Because no one in Czechoslovakia is on a MLB team. They made up of your cops, your firefighters. You're just your average
Whoa,
Joes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
it's cool. It's cool to see that. It's always cool to root for them, even though you know they're probably not going to win. But
Right.
Czechoslovakia made it, Italy, Mexico, DR, Puerto Rico. So you get a lot of your big countries who are big into baseball. Obviously Asia.
Mhm.
A lot of your islands, so your Dominican Republics, your Cubans, your Puerto Ricans. So you got a lot of stories around this. Can Japan go back to back again? Can Shohei Ohtani lead them to that? Can the U.S. win? Can the U.S. avenge their loss to Japan from 2023? Can the Dominican Republic get back on top of the baseball world, or can Puerto Rico win their first? There's a lot of interesting stories coming into this and shaping around the WBC, which I think is exciting. Yeah, it's exciting to see how this is ending up and shaping out. So no matter how it ends, it's going to be a good series, and you can see the competitiveness with all these countries competing right now.
Right. And
Oh.
to add on to what you were saying, like there was one other thing that I saw, and that's no other team besides the Dominican Republic in 2013 has won all of their games and won the championship, which is insane.
Hey, you might see that this year, which is going to be cool.
Who knows?
Yay.
Yep. So, well, that was a lot of terminology, lingo,
That was a lot.
baseball. So if you're not a huge sports fan or huge baseball fan, we're gonna let you marinate on a little bit of that, and we're gonna go into halftime, and then we'll be right back after this break. And we are back. It's the Barbershop on Hawk Radio Live 365. Now, we finna get into a headbanger of a topic. Man, when Paramount Plus merger with Warner Bros. Now, when I first heard this, I thought it was a joke. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was a joke until I started to actually go through it, reread it. I'm looking at the Paramount Plus official website. I'm looking at Variety. Even US Today posted about it. And then, I heard Netflix on their official website. The freaking CEO had came out with a statement about not winning the pool, because it was a big and like
Everyone and their mama.
Yeah,
Dang it, Netflix.
everyone wanted Warner Bros. But basically, to sum it up in a nice slice of cake, it was a $110 billion deal, and with Paramount, Warner Bros., Discovery. Well, because Discovery is also with also with Warner Bros. And the merger creates like a media behemoth combining two legacy studios to battle tech backing streamers and cementing a tight entertainment it definitely in a way, because you have Warner Brothers with all of the big IP like Harry Potter, DC,
Looney Tunes,
and then you have Paramount Plus. Ooh, well, they pretty much got everything because they with the streaming platform. So
UFC,
like
Transformers,
CBS.
No, they do not deserve Warner Brothers.
Oh
no
my gosh.
one does.
Well, the thing is, they're trying to combat, like she said, streaming services, right? Netflix, HBO Max, all these streaming services that are coming out. And with movie theaters, not everyone's going to the movie theaters anymore.
yeah,
Right.
They have to try and find some way to survive. And Warner Brothers had a more successful year than Paramount Skydance.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I support
So-
that, but it's like it's expensive either way.
Yeah.
Oh, facts.
Like it's not fair either way in this situation.
And then on the topic with Skydance is it's of course its own thing, because it was founded in 2010 by David Ellison, who is also the CEO of Paramount Plus. Now, recently, US Today said that that David Ellison was coming fresh off a merger with Skydance, and basically he ended up putting Skydance down as a collateral on it. So if anything happens, then it basically all rights go to Skydance, but it ends up going right back to him because he's actually the CEO and the founder of Skydance. So that's a whole big thing within itself. But basically what Skydance has live action. It's a media service basically with live action features, television, animation, and interactive new media. That's basically what it is in a nutshell. But if you ask me personally, I think it's pretty much greed, because you already have Paramount Plus with its already big as an own, and then you also have your own separate media company that you founded in 2010 that you have had the rights for, and then now you're going after Warner Bros. And on top of that, his dad, Larry Ellison, is, Forbes, so US Today called him the world's richest man, but he's not actually the world's richest man, because according to Forbes and the billionaire list, it's actually Elon Musk is the richest person with...
I was about to say, no way that guy's the richest person.
He's got so much.
Exactly. So he, in my opinion, it's kind of greedy, because you already have two successful companies, and then on top of that, Larry Ellison, your dad, has his hands in many other things, because his biggest thing is his handling is in tech. Now, I couldn't find a more specific what exactly he goes into tech. It was just surfacing that his business in general was tech. So
it's just what more could they want? How much more money do you need? You own a studio that's already successful in its own way.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Yes, the greed probably plays a part in it, but it also has to be survival, because you do have a lot of streaming services popping up. Paramount Plus or Paramount didn't have a great year last year. The only movie that grossed $1 billion was Top Gun Maverick. You had Warner Brothers had Sinners. They had a bunch of original movies that came out last year that did great for them. Paramount didn't. They had the one movie, but the Paramount's problem is they keep doing remakes. They did Scream.
Yeah.
They've done
They
Top
had
Gun, Sonic
Oh,
the
yeah.
Hedgehog, Transformers. All these movies, they're just rehashing the same thing. Same thing with Skydance. So they're trying to survive in a world where everyone doesn't want to go to the movie theaters anymore. So they're not making the profit like they used to. In terms of people going to movies and spending money to go see the films.
And who made that system? Who set that system up?
Oh,
So you saw a lot of that happening because Netflix originally wanted to buy it, but movie theaters were against Netflix and a Warner Brothers collaboration because then you take the movies out of the movie theaters and now you put it on a streaming platform. It makes people less likely to go to a movie theater to go see these movies.
Was it Paramount doing that? Buying Warner Brothers for streaming purposes?
Yeah, so they'll get their whole catalog, but
with Netflix, Netflix handles more of the more movie side than Paramount Plus does. Because yes, Paramount Plus does handle movies, but when you think of Netflix, you think of those Netflix originals, like the cringy, terrible movies, and I think that was one of the fears that many of the movie theaters was fearing was that it was gonna take the fun out of film,
take the actual good writing out of film.
Yeah,
I don't even think it's much so that. It's the fact that now instead of movies going straight to a theater, Netflix would go, it's going to go straight to streaming. It'll still be the guys who are writing for like a Warner Brothers or anything, but instead of the great movies going to a movie theater, like imagine,
straight to home now.
yeah, like imagine Sinners, right? If Netflix had owned Warner Brothers at the time, it would have gone straight to Netflix and been a Netflix original movie instead of going to a movie theater.
yeah.
It defeats the magic of movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Because Sony sold the IP to Netflix, and Netflix sent it straight to streaming, and you saw how that blew up.
Yeah.
So it's almost, that's kind of like the perfect example of how I can say is why Paramount bought Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And Netflix, well, we did mention that Netflix did have their hand in the pool, and it was okay. So at first, Netflix had offered 110 million, and then I'm sorry, not 110 million. Netflix made their deal, and it was 72 million. 72 billion.
Oh.
Correction. Sorry, I can't talk today.
I mean, all those numbers are pushing it either way.
Yeah.
And then they had exactly 4 days to make a counter offer to Paramount 110 million, but they ended up bowing down and just letting Paramount Plus, take the Warner Brothers deal. And I can kind of see, well, the CEO kind of like played the high horse, and he was like, I congratulate David Ellis on winning the merger, and I thank everybody for like a fair dealing situation, because it wasn't just Paramount and Netflix. Like
there are some other streaming services in there.
Yeah.
Was it HBO?
Yeah.
HBO, I think, is Warner Brothers as
Hulu?
well.
Right.
Probably Hulu.
Hulu.
But Hulu's owned by Disney.
Yeah.
ESPN
So it would have
is
been
also-
Disney. Yeah.
But Disney doesn't need no more. Disney
you
should be
have enough.
full.
Disney has enough. They have Hulu, ESPN.
They own Fox.
Yeah.
Which in turn owns all those other subsidiaries.
But yeah, streaming right now is a complete mess of a headache, and it is a lot to deal with. But
That's where the world's going now, though.
yep, and it's unfortunately what we have to deal with. But that's all we all have for you today. We had a lot of topics, a lot of good convos. We talked about Harry Styles and his new album. We talked about Rihanna coming back. We talked about the color theory and the impact on fashion and person. We talked about
The World
so
Baseball
funny?
Classic.
the World Baseball Classic, and we talked about Paramount and the merger with Warner Brothers and all that. And we're just here for a good time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Always
shops
here
gotta
for a good
close.
time.
doors gotta lock. and toss the keys away.
You had enough tea today.
Yep. So,
Gotta go back.
concluding with your host, Trevea,
Sid.
Tati.
And AJ.
and we will see y'all tomorrow, same time, Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We'll be right here. We'll be waiting for you. Peace out.